There's a romantic appeal to the concept of the bohemian. True creatives that created just to live and breathe art. There's a romantic appeal to the bohemians. True creatives that live life just to breathe and eat art. It's tantalizing, daring, and laughably out of reach. I'm Makensi Grant, and while I dream of walking the streets of Paris with Zelda, I live a 9-to-5 life and try to squeeze in writing my book when I can. Living in the real world with bills sucks, especially as a writer dreaming of the time just to write for 5 hours a day instead of thinking about slide decks or circling back and what's the latest trending term. This is week 11, and we're recovering a sense of autonomy in a world not made for the artist. Many of us fall victim to the pressures of society to be more normal. It's why I started this journey. I used to cow to bullies to be more palatable, and I suffered the consequences of my own self-sabotage. Because it's hard to dissuade the need for money for pursuing a creative career. Sometimes you feel like you have no other options. So how do you separate the two? Well, if you're listening to Julia Cameron's advice, you need to find your zen through movement. Now, you don't have to be a star athlete, because Lord knows I'm not. But the goal is to find a way to shake off that frantic energy that you build up sometimes, over worrying and overthinking about how you're going to do and how you're going to be. For me, I've been going on more walks. I've been forcing myself to get sunshine. I've been forcing myself to breathe the air and just look at the world outside of my room. On my worst days, the fresh air can reset my brain. I'm not trying to run marathons. I'm just trying to keep the chaos out of my mind. The second way to run your zen is by building an artist altar. Now, those of you who grew up in the Catholic faith or in another type of Christianity, you're familiar with the concept of an altar, even though you may have grown up in a religious home. Me, I grew up evangelical Christian, so that was more like an entire wall of crosses in the living room. Full wall, entire gallery wall, floor to ceiling crosses. So it's really important to me in developing my own artist altar that I find something that allows me to recapture childlike whimsy instead of a gruesome crucifixion. Now, this space can include anything and be anywhere, but it needs to be prominent. For me, I chose the space that I spend the majority of my time in during the week. My office. I've been filling this little corner space with art I like, trinkets, books, and even a few things I've made myself. She's right about it making you feel more connected to that inner child. After last week's frustration, spending a week dedicated to making a space for the writer is refreshing. Cameron is good about that. Each lesson ebbs and flows, and picks right back up where the other one left off. It also forces you to get over yourself. Choose the silly things. Let yourself stand out. It's a short and simple message this week because we're at week 11 and you've either done the work or you've not at this point. So I'm going to keep it short and simple. I'm Makensi Grant, and it's time for me to go write.